Join us, MrTruck.com, for truck reviews, trailer reviews, and accessory reviews. It's Cam with MrTruck.com at the NATDA 2021, looking for all the cool products, and I keep finding them. And I'm here with Bob with Shocker Hitch. This is so cool. You're from like North Dakota.
We're from basically right outside of Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh yeah,
so
you're up
in
there.
a small community, but still.
That is so cool, and your products are always based on, I shouldn't say always based, I guess most of them are based on an air cushion for a better ride for different reasons.
Right, well, the air suspension has become the industry standard for a good ride. So what we've done is we've taken that industry standard, the good ride principle, connected it to the truck and the trailer, in between the truck and trailer, small air suspension between the two, that cushions both vehicles and gives you a nice ride and takes the breakage out. One of the things I'm going to mention here, so we spend a lot of money on our truck, our trailer. We want to get the best performance, the best ride possible, but oftentimes we overlook the coupler, the hitch that joins the two together. That's the biggest improvement you can make in towing a trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now we isolate this bang from that bang, drive along, and we can drink a cup of coffee, relax, and know that our equipment isn't beating itself to death.
Well, that's true. You know, there's a reason why your semi-trucks, your semi-trailers, all that commercial stuff, then you got air cabs, so they understand that the cushion of an air ride is great. And I think one of your biggest advantages is the fact that yours, because it's air, you can increase or decrease the air pressure and change what you need for the load. If you got a different load each time, that's really important. So I like that. Now let's talk about this one. This is the bumper pull we're going to go do next, and you can explain the whole purpose of it and how your theory is forward and back, not necessarily up and down. So you're unique in that area too. So watch this. So you got like a test for this, don't you, Bob?
Right, right. So gooseneck trailers in general, the axles are about 30 feet plus in back of the pull point. So when you hit a bump with a gooseneck trailer, its action is a tug. It's not necessarily an up and down, it's a tug force. And so what we've done is we've created a hitch that cushions out that tug force. Every time the trailer tugs, we grab that tug with an airbag and cushion it out. As soon as that energy is over, it goes back to park or home, waits for the next tug. As soon as that comes in, we cushion it out. Get on a choppy highway, this hitch may oscillate pretty regular.
Well, that's
smooth highway, it'll just wait for the next bump.
Okay, now why is yours different than the other ones? Because you like to see it move front to back.
Well, I think there's been a misconception. You drive in a pickup or your tow vehicle, and it bounces down the road, and your immediate thought is that we've got a vertical action here that's making this thing ride so tough and rough. We originally went into the vertical action hitch, and it didn't take long to realize that the vertical action hitch wasn't working. And so we said, well, what's making these trailers tow so terrible, and if it isn't vertical action? So we put a horizontal action into our hitch. It was like a magic pill. From that moment on, we knew what was wrong with gooseneck trailers and what they needed in order to tow decent. So for the last 10 years, we've been producing basically the same product and had fantastic results.
Well, that's so cool. You got those bushings that kind of work like a shock absorber on there, along with the airbag. Right. And two, you know, there's other companies that tried to go horizontal, but they went too far, and that caused problems. Yours is much more controlled.
Exactly right. So when that energy comes in, we have to control it. And so one of the ways that we've controlled that is with bump cushions at the end of the travel. So what you're going to see here is a bump cushion inside of this airbag. I consider this a soft zone. You get on a choppy highway, there's your soft zone. When you hit the overpass, there's a 6-inch abruption. Boom. We go in, we stiffen it up a little bit so we don't have too much motion. Otherwise, your trailer feels like it's loose. We need to have controlled motion, and that's how we do it, with a bump cushion inside.
And then you have those two other bolts that have bushings on them, don't
Again,
you?
controlled motion.
Yeah.
So when you get on your brakes and the trailer surges forward, it doesn't, it's more positive. The trailer can't rock forward and then rock back. Controlled motion.
Cool. And you got a special coupler. Well, we can talk about that on the next one too, but you've already changed your coupler to adapt to these newer kind of balls that are in these trucks and all that. But that is cool. So now we know how that works. That makes sense. Let's look at some of your other products and how they work.
Okay. One of the things we realized, deck over trailers for construction companies and so on, they're great. You can put your skid steers in, you can put forks, everything's high, easy to get at. The problem is the center of gravity is high and the pull force is high and it really jerks. Those trailers are probably the worst towing trailers on the market. They're worse than goosenecks, worse than car trailers, enclosed trailers. They're the bad ones. So we built a hitch for those with a 20,000 pound rating. It uses the Demco coupler, has an airbag in it to control that energy. Same pivot action as our other hitches. Still uses bump cushions to control the motion. This bag has an internal cushion in it also. So we've got maybe an inch of travel in that hitch, but that inch of travel will take that snap and crack out and stop the breakage and give you a much smoother ride. This is basically a hidden gem. So if you're in the construction industry, pulling trailers, that's your baby.
Cool. And then this is your new one here, kind of for a short bed truck design.
So conditions have changed over the years. Right now you go into the dealership and you want to buy a new pickup, 3/4 ton pickup, it's got a 6-foot box. Well, whatever happened to that 8-foot box? Well, like I say, things have changed. But maybe your trailer is a 2005 or 6 and they expected you to have an 8-foot box and there was plenty of turning clearance. We had to come up with a hitch that had a 9-inch extension so that you could match those two. You could take your trailer that had that big square front, use your new short box pickup, and still tow them without knocking out the back window. So that's what this is all about. Mostly enclosed trailers, a lot of horse trailers. Same exact action as our other hitch, works great, just solves a problem that has been looming for a long time.
Well, that's cool. That way people don't break out their back window. I get those calls every week. Somebody already broke their back window, and now what do?
Yeah, we get the same call. Usually it's too late. They've already broke the back window once.
Yeah. Now tell me about this coupler. You've had to change those to make up for some of these factory balls, as I recall.
Yeah, so the coupler, we had to come up with something that was quick and easy and worked well, very strong. And the material that we've used is wear resistant, okay? Some of the new hitch balls have a hole in the top which reduces the surface area and creates a wear problem. And so what we did is we specified the steel that this is made out of in order to get wear resistance. And it solved another problem.
Well, that's awesome. So that U-bolt in the middle is what actually clamps around the ball.
Right.
Wow.
It's very, very strong. I put 48,000 pounds of test pressure on it and it didn't release. So that gives you an idea of what kind of strength we're dealing with.
Okay. Well, that looks better. There's a whole lot of couplers out there that don't really grab a whole lot of that ball. I'm glad to see one that goes around like half of it. That makes a lot of sense. I like that. I think you got a good idea there too.
Yep, and it's got full gimbal, 33 degrees of gimbal.
Oh wow, my camera's got that. Well, you can probably deal with the 4-inch ball or the 3-inch balls now too, right?
We are actually working on a 3-inch coupler. We got some drawings made up and working with a couple of casting companies to try and get that solved too.
Because I see that is coming. You know, Australia's had the 3-inch balls for decades.
Yes.
Now it's coming here.
It's, well, with Dodge going to a 40,000 pound tow vehicle, yeah, we got to get on board and fix that problem as well.
Yeah, and that's wild that that's how they go. It's 30,001 up to 40,000 what the next coupler class has to be, which is crazy.
Well, I think in the towing industry or in the freight industry, there's been a change. It used to be that people would have a semi-truck with a flatbed and maybe have it half full. Now, if that is the case, they hire a hotshot, he puts it on a flatbed, uses a 1-ton pickup or truck, reduces freight cost, fast, quick service. It's filled a need.
Yeah, the hotshot business is growing fast.
The hotshot business is filled in for the trucking industry, and so now you look at the trucks on the road, they're mostly enclosed trailers, less flatbeds, and more flatbeds behind 1-tons.
Now you got a new product now, don't you? What's it?
So we've had a lot of call for mud flaps that would fit our hitch, and we've had a little design difference so that the conventional mud flaps just don't bolt on, right? So we had to develop our own mud flap system in order to fit this hitch. And I think you're going to see a lot of bass boat people that are pulling their $70,000 bass boats.
Yeah.
They need mud flaps. And so we developed some mud flaps. This is pretty unique in that this mount system stays on the hitch, but you can adjust it for the width of the vehicle. Or that day that you're not pulling a trailer, you can just take it off. Now we don't have to block the wind.
Yeah, that wind is, and you get thick plates too, but or thick rubber, that's usually the problem, is that you got to get them off of there when you're not using a trailer to save you some gas.
That's right.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, I like how thick they are. That's good. And it's only, it looks like it fits right in the top part of that bumper pull Shocker Hitch.
Well, it was kind of, when I designed this, I had to look at the back bumpers of most tow vehicles, and they've got the sensors. If you go too high, you block the sensors.
That's true.
So I tried to get right just up to the point where we don't block the sensors.
Well, that's cool. That's, I can see the bass boat problem, because that gel coat, little pebbles that are sailing 70 miles an hour, whatever they hit, whether it's aluminum or a stainless steel nose or fiberglass, it's a problem.
Well, those people, they want the hitch to protect their investment, but at the same time, they have to have the mud flaps, again, to protect their investment. So here it is, the best of both worlds.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to see a new product that always seems to help everybody to keep thinking the new stuff, solving more problems, new problems. Well, thanks, Bob. Hope you had a good show.
Oh, you bet, Kent. This has been a wonderful show. Right people, right time. Great.
That's awesome. Thank you.